Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Joey. I'm here with DK Oldies. We're a retro gaming website, and I just wanted to show off some of the cool stuff that's been coming in recently. You can see here, I'm sitting right in front of our wall of NES games. So since I've got NES right here behind me, I thought we could talk about some of those for starters. So I grew up with the NES. That was the system I'm most familiar with. I know the most about, played the most games on, but there's so many games for the NES that there are just tons that I've never actually gotten to try before. And people are always recommending new games for me to try out. So I had a little bit of time yesterday to try a few that I hadn't gotten to try before. First one was called Rocket Ranger. Now, this one, honestly, of the 4 NES games I'm here to talk about, this one I was a little bit confused by. So maybe if you guys know anything about this title, you can let me know here in the comments. It wasn't quite clear what to do. I was going through a bunch of text. It seems like it was telling a story. I wasn't 100% sure what was going on with this one. I could appreciate some help with that. Next, though, Codename Viper. So I'm a big fan of like old school shooters. GoldenEye, Contra, all that sort of stuff. Then I moved on to Quake, Doom, Hexen on the 64. So I'm a big fan of that. Everybody knows that I really like Contra. So people have been recommending I try Codename Viper. They say it's kind of similar to Contra. So I checked it out. It was a whole lot of fun. One thing I did note, it is similar. So, you know, you're moving left to right. Bad guys are coming in from the side. And what was it? You've got like kind of a standard blaster rifle that you start off with. One thing I did notice that was different from Contra, it didn't seem like you were able to shoot on the diagonals like you can in Contra. It was pretty much just forward and backward, but really liked Codename Viper. I'm looking forward to spending some more time with this one. Next up was Gradius. I've heard such good stuff about this one. So this is kind of like a space shooter. So you've got your spaceship. Bad guys are coming in from the side. You're dodging their bullets, trying to avoid hitting the walls, hitting the enemy bullets. This one was actually a whole lot of fun. I like those kind of space shooters. But this next one was kind of a neat surprise. I don't know. Not many people know about this one. So this is called Section Z. And again, it was similar to like the space shooter that Gradius was, but you play as this little guy. And what was neat about this one is on the NES controller, the A and B buttons make you shoot one way or the other. So the A button has you shooting back behind you. B button has you shooting in front of you. Same sort of thing. You're kind of floating in space. Bad guys are coming in from the side, but they're behind you also. So you're flipping your character back and forth to be able to shoot at them from either side. This was actually a whole lot of fun. I can't wait to spend some more time with this one. But yeah, not a lot of people know about it. Section Z. Definitely recommend that one. Also, check this out too. We get all kinds of cool items that come in through our Sell Your Games department. And that's the other thing, guys. If you have retro stuff that you're looking to sell, you've got extra games or you want to switch consoles and get rid of your old one, we're constantly buying. That's where all of this stuff comes from, is private natural collections. People who just want to sell some of their old stuff and get some new stuff. Yo, what's going on, T Hill? Thanks for tuning in, man. So you can go to our website, DKOldies.com. I'll get a link here, but you can check out our Sell Your Games department. And this was something that just came in recently. Check this out. Game Boy Pocket. Hello Kitty branded. Never seen this before. Game Boy Pockets are kind of the hardest to find of all the handhelds. I see a lot of Game Boy Colors. The Game Boy Original, that's the one I had when I was growing up. Game Boy Advance, SP. But the Pocket, you just don't see real often. See how it's a bit of a thinner system than the others? Pocket's really cool, but this Hello Kitty branded one, I don't think I've ever seen before. I don't know much about this. If anybody knows, you can let me know something about it. Oh, and check this out too, guys. So I love when we get complete games in. Here are 2 that just came in recently. Mario Kart 64. and Turok 2 for 64. I love Turok 2. Do you see here back on the back of the box? Have you guys played this one? Remember there was that weapon called the cerebral bore? You'd shoot it at the dinosaur, went right into their brain. I love Turok. I remember when this came out, and I can't remember which Turok it was I was playing the most of, but I'm just checking back here on the screenshots. Boy, does that bring me back. I know there's another game, Turok Evolution, I think, and maybe that's on the Xbox or Xbox 360. I haven't tried that, but since I'm such a big fan of Turok, I'll bet I'd love it. And Mario Kart, complete version of Mario Kart. So the complete versions, I mean, it comes with everything that was originally included in it. So in this case, it's going to have the cardboard insert that the game sits in, our nicest copy of the game, as well as the manual. Manual's back in here too. So for our complete versions of things, we only put in our very best stuff that we've got at the time. So our nicest copy of Mario Kart, our nicest manual, all of that goes right into the complete versions. But while these were really neat to get to see, check this out. I got two. Now they're not sealed. They've been opened, but they're still in the protective cellophane. They are some of the nicest looking completes I've ever seen. Link to the Past, one of the best Super Nintendo games. People often say one of the best Zelda games, period. And the box is in amazing shape. Still having the protective cellophane on it, kind of protected it from any scratches that might happen. The game inside looks like it's never been touched. The manual is perfect. So I actually got two of these just in yesterday. Just went up into stock on the website. Link to the Past. And Super Mario RPG. I'm constantly getting people asking me about this one. Anytime I talk about RPG games, Final Fantasy, or anytime any of that sort of stuff comes up, people are always saying, what about Mario RPG? It's one of the best ones out there. I haven't gotten to try this one yet. I can't wait to. It looks beautiful from the screenshots I'm seeing back here. But again, in the protective cellophane, the box was immaculate. The game looked untouched. Really, really nice. Two really nice ones right there. And speaking of Super Nintendo, same sort of thing. I got to try out some Super Nintendo games that I don't often get to try. Here was one that just came in recently. It's called Spectre. I'd never seen it before. It's not a particularly high-priced game, but it's definitely an uncommon one that we don't see all that often. So Spectre, I got to try it this morning. It kind of reminded me of like an old school tank fighting game. You're kind of in a tank on like a big open battlefield, kind of futuristic looking. It's not like a realistic grass looking battlefield, kind of a space looking thing. You've got a little HUD, your heads up display and your map up in the top. So you're trying to collect the flags as you go throughout the map while avoiding the bad guys and killing the bad guys. It was really cool. Like I said, not many people know of this one. You'll have to check out like maybe some YouTube gameplay of it. Just got this into stock up on the website also. Oh yeah. Nickelodeon Real Monsters. Wasn't this a TV show? I don't really remember watching it. When I fired up this game, it did seem kind of familiar, like I recognized the characters from something. But this was neat. So you play as like, I guess, the three of these guys, and you're controlling one of them, and the other two follow you around. You can swap between the characters that you're playing as, and they sort of have different abilities. At one point in the game, you have to get up onto a higher point, so you can choose one of the characters, and he kind of has the other two pile up on top of him, and you can jump up to an even higher spot. But anybody remember? Do you guys watch Nickelodeon? I'm sure you guys remember the old Nickelodeon shows. There was one, remember American Gladiators? You Can't Say That on Television. Do you remember that kind of stuff? I remember, and Clarissa Explains It All that sort of stuff. So Nickelodeon Aerial Monsters, that was neat. Ooh, actually, this might be one of my favorites I got to play out of these Super Nintendo games. Pitfall. The graphics in this one, the graphics were beautiful. Kind of reminded me a little of like Donkey Kong graphics. I always think of the Donkey Kong Country games on the Super Nintendo as sort of the pinnacle of Super Nintendo graphics. Same sort of thing with like Aladdin, Lion King. But this sort of reminded me of those graphics. So you play as the main guy. You're in the jungle. Left to right, kind of like a side scroller. There is some verticality to it. You're climbing up into the trees at some points. But there'll be snakes on the ground. And what were the weapons? I think you had like a whip. Like a whip that shot out a stone somehow. I forget if there was another weapon or not. But so you're trying to avoid the snakes. And the quicksand can like just randomly appear. Does the marker come off? What's going on, Dustin? That marker would come off. So all the stuff we sell here is cleaned prior to shipping out, cleaned and tested. So our shippers would have no problem cleaning this right up, bringing it back to perfect looking condition. But the quicksand, like I was talking about, the quicksand puddles just sort of randomly open up and you've got to avoid them. It was crazy. It was actually the quicksand that killed me twice that I finally stopped playing it on. But Pitfall, the Mayan Adventure, I definitely recommend this one. This was a lot of fun. Also, F-Zero. This sells every single day. I've always wanted to try it. There's also F-Zero on Nintendo 64, if I recall. But F-Zero is great. The kind of like a shooter, sort of reminded me a little maybe like Rad Racer on the NES. But fast. The whole thing was fast. You're definitely flying down the track fast, and kind of like a standard kart racer like Mario Kart. You're not really picking up power-ups or that sort of thing, but it was a really good racer. Definitely a solid Super Nintendo title. Ooh, and finally, check this one out, guys. Gemfire. Now, this is a pretty rare Super Nintendo game. Never tried it before. Tried it for the first time today. It was neat. So it kind of reminded me of a little bit like Risk, a game like that, sort of where you're playing almost like on a game board. And also, what else was on? Once you would move your character to a certain part of the game board, then it would kind of devolve into the portion where you're actually playing the game. So it's you have a couple guys on one side, bad guy has a couple guys on the other, and then you each take turns. Kind of reminded me of like chess or checkers or something, where your character, you'd select one of your guys. He had 3 squares that he could move. So you move over one, over one, over one. Okay, that was his turn. Then the bad guy takes a turn, and then you finally battle it out. It was really cool. And one not a lot of people know about. It's called Gemfire. Ooh, check this out too, guys. Here's something you don't see all the time. This is a particularly rare Nintendo 64 controller, the Donkey Kong controller. It's hard to find them this nice of shape with a real nice original tight thumbstick. Makes all the difference. I'm sure you guys know on a Nintendo 64 controller. I'm sure you've seen them with real loose thumbsticks. Also, if you can see down here, it's sort of modeled to look like a banana. But this paint here, oftentimes you'll see it all worn off because this is where you're holding the controllers on these things. As well as the DK64 logo up here. Having all of this be nice and crisp, just the condition of this, what made it particularly rare. So I thought that was a really nice controller. Also, guys, I got some of those Funtastic 64 systems in. You guys familiar with those? The Nintendo 64, I'm sure everybody's familiar with the standard black Nintendo 64, but they also made these Funtastic colors. This is called Ice Blue, if I recall. Yeah, Dustin, the Funtastic colors are one of my favorites too. Reset button, power. Takes games just like normal, just a really cool color. And it also has like matching controllers to match these colors. So that's the Ice Blue. Ooh, here's one I really like too. This is called Grape. And check this out. This one's actually got the expansion pack inside. So the expansion pack was additional RAM. You could add additional memory to the system. Certain games required it. Donkey Kong 64 is a good example. And then other games were enhanced by it. You could see better graphics and that sort of stuff. Perfect Dark is a good example of one that didn't require it, but you got more out of the game by being able to use the expansion pack. But check that out. Great. I love the look of that one. And I got one more here too, guys. Check this one out. Look at this one. I don't know if the lights here are doing it justice. This one just pops. I like this orange. And I forget what this is. This called Spice? I don't know what this orange is actually called, but beautiful shape. Can you guys see that? I think it's cool how you can kind of see into the system. Really, really cool one. Yeah, isn't that a beauty? And finally, guys, check this out too. So I don't know if you guys know about Atari stuff. Here's a complete Atari game called Journey Escape. Fire Orange. That was it. Yeah, how'd that escape me? Good work. Yo, AJ. Yo, AJ. Journey Escape. So in this game, I don't know if you're playing, but it references the band Journey. That's what the Journey is referring to. And check it out on the back here. Rock concert can be perilous for performers. Will you be able to guide all 5 members of the group to the safety of their famous Scarab escape vehicle before time runs out? What do you think? AJ, would you play this one? Will you be able to protect the $50,000 they made in concert cash? Or will you be foiled by stage barriers, groupies, photographers, and promoters? The action is hot and heavy, just like at a Journey performance. So I don't know if you can see here from this screenshot. Yeah, dude, groupies, you got to watch out for them. But I don't know. I just thought that might be a neat one to try. But yeah, guys. So listen, I appreciate you guys for tuning in today. Oh, yo, Andrew, what's going on? I sure do recognize you. I'm glad you tuned in. So I hope to be doing a few more things here on YouTube. I appreciate you guys who showed up today, AJ and Andrew. Obviously, you guys, Dustin, what's up? But I want to be showing off more stuff that goes on here in the warehouse. If you have any questions, you can always shoot me a message right here on YouTube. I'm real active on Facebook. Facebook's kind of the main place to be finding out about us. I do live videos every Friday, live videos almost every day, showing off what goes on in the store. One of the cool things is I open up boxes live. So when new collections come into the store, I grab them when the FedEx guy drops them off. Open them right up and show off all the new stuff just as it comes in. You kind of get the very first glimpse at things, first dibs when you're watching those unboxing videos. I actually have an unboxing video coming up here in about 1 hour on Facebook. So yeah, I want to be doing more here. I appreciate you guys from showing up. I will attack the FedEx guy when he gets here. I'll grab those packages right off the back of his truck. I'll open them inside the truck. But thanks a lot, guys. I'll be doing this again. AJ, Andrew, thanks, guys.